Boy, have I got a story for you. There's a lot's going on with Dayton Hypernova. So let me catch you up on this. Is the past week, okay? So I have to catch you up. This is from Earlp, Dayton Hypernova. You may know him as a Cade Dorian Paradoxa.
Or head, skin boy,
yes,
laundry.
Okay, and also that you could know him as laundry.
Throwing nicknames out. I'm kind of doing the Bruce Buffer thing where he just gives you 15 nicknames on the fly.
Yeah,
make you sound cooler.
So he put on his Facebook. My parents got home in the middle of my sleeping last night. This morning, my mom tells me about an hour ago they're moving my older brother to hospice from a hospital in Cincinnati. They don't know what to expect. My mom's tears were minimal today and simply stating, it's up to God now with his condition. She was raised to show minimal emotion about terrible things and to either be empty about it or angry and gaslighting the people around her.
No, actually, I hate to break this to you, Earlp, but the generations that came before had a very healthy tendency to not display overwhelming amounts of unnecessary emotion. Like, this is a problem with young people nowadays, is they think that being a hysterical somehow a good thing. And it's like, well, no, it's not. Just because they're not showing emotion doesn't mean that they're not feeling the emotion, but it's best to not be hysterical. Oh, I hate him.
It's awful that these people are such narcissist right-wing Christians, dogmatists. The mood in my family is strange and sour, yet mildly serene. And just being neutral about what nursing an alcoholic with more alcoholism does after 7.5 years of him living at home, the same place he's living.
Yeah, like you take that little dig like you're not living at home too.
Wow, if I move by spring or summer, he's not going to. This will be, since we've covered him, the third time he said he's going to move.
And it's been a long time of covering him at this point.
Yeah, they're literally going from having all the drama going on in the house on a daily basis to total silence except to one another. We continue the story. It's awful. I'm getting recordings today of as much interaction between my family today as I can. It doesn't even feel right, but none of it has felt right. And yet it is the only way to show exactly how bad transphobia in America still is in 2020, especially among relatives.
Pause.
Yes.
Your fucking brother is dying.
Mm-hmm. Hospice. Yeah. That's terrible. Like, nothing else should matter at that point.
Your brother is dying. Like, trust me, my family has its issues. They sure have their issues. But you know, even my, like, I'm blown away by his mental illness and his selfishness, because like I come from a family of like selfish, drug addicted, fucking narcissistic people.
And that's just Mike.
That's just me. But when you go to like a funeral in my family, right? Like, it's so rare that anybody in my family makes it about them, makes it about their baggage or their issues. Like when my nephew passed away, one of my sisters showed up to the funeral, and I was like, it was a flip of the coin. I was very like, uh-oh, like, how is this going to go? Like, what is this broad going to bring in the door with her? And she even pulled it together for a day and showed up, paid her fucking respects, and left. Like, hey, Earlp, if my family can do it, you could do it if you try. If you just try. If you just maybe take one moment out of the day and think of anyone but yourself for 5 minutes, you can actually let this day be about your brother in a hospice.
These are bigots who pretend nothing horrendously wrong happens because of them. In a word, these are privileged people in a society who cover the truth up by behaving pretentiously in all matters of violence and hate. I have 4 gigabytes of space on my iPad to record. He is now recording them.
We're waiting with bated breath.
Okay, so this is weird. My parents both drove down to Cincinnati to visit the skinhead son in the hospital.
How about just...
He's in the hospital.
How about just my dying brother?
And they might not be home tonight. They'll text me to let me know if they're coming home tomorrow. They sounded in tone like, the house is yours, birthday boy. It was his birthday.
He is so... Mm-hmm. Like... does that not bother you?
Oh no, of course it does.
This whole like
the difference is I've already read all this. So
okay, because I hate him. I hate him so much right now. Like, I hate him so much right now.
The sounded in his tone. They sounded in tone like "The house is yours, birthday boy." They bought 2 full boxes of beer, and there's a big wine of sangria, multiple bottles worth.
This is all information you should be focused on when your brother's dying.
On the Domino's website, I have a free pizza order
Whoa,
online.
big
I haven't used.
Big man.
If people are interested in having a birthday party with me at my house, I have room for a few cars in my driveway in the side street. If you come over, it's your responsibility to protect yourself from COVID. I have a really strong immune system because of my psoriasis. If you have a weak immune system, best respect your health. Contact me if interested.
Can I break this down into quicker?
Sure.
My brother's dying and my parents left, so I'm gonna get a pizza and throw a house party.
Yeah.
Cool.
Nobody liked this post, by the way, just so you know. And here it is. This is from today, this morning. My older brother just passed away this morning. His name was Sherman Anthony Shultz, born May 29th, 1978. He passed away in a hospice in Cincinnati at age 42. My mom just walked into my room crying and begging me not to drink too much, as though she never even slightly considered the possibility it could cause harm. It's sad the culture we embrace of not caring until it's way too late. The only good thing is that this will slightly change my mom to a person who doesn't ignore suffering. But I won't have anything to do with her once I move out.
What a sack of fucking human shit this guy is. I'm so sick of him. I'm so fucking sick of Earlp. I really am. Just everything is me. Your brother's dead and it's still me. By the way, 42 is young even if you're a drunk. That's like,
and it was fast, you know, from hospital to hospice to death. This all happened within this week. This is all this week.
I wonder what else. There had to be something wrong with him. I can't just be like liver failure at 42, unless he was just sucking down massive amounts of rot gut booze on the reg. That's a hard, like 42. That's even if you're a full blown alcoholic and drug addict. It's very hard to be dead by 42.
So a lot of people are doing the wrong kid dad from Dewey Cox. So he's moving. He instead of when something like this happens, you get closer to your family. Like, you know, maybe you kind of do some, you know, self-evaluating of the way you are. I mean, you know, maybe I should honestly try to be better with my family, have a better relationship, you know, because life is very short and anything could happen. Instead, he talks about that his mom's going to be a better person. We're not done yet.
Well, what were you saying? Something about, like, you know, your family and honoring your brother and blah, 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 blah. I got a free pizza on Domino's, though. Huh?
But how's Sherman?
Pizza time.
How's Sherman, though?
Pizza party. Huh? And I love, too, these, like, I'm going to throw a party. I have one Domino's pizza. By the way, have you ever seen the free Domino's pizza? Have you ever seen the size of a medium Domino's?
Of course,
pizza?
they're tiny.
Those things have shrunk so much over the years. Could you imagine going to a house party and Earlp is the host of the party and there's one medium Domino's, one topping on the table, and you're like, this sucks. This fucking sucks. I could eat a Domino's medium by myself.
Of course.
Any normal adult man could order one medium Domino's and just sit there and go,
Well, he continued after this. This was at 9 a.m. this morning is when Sherman passed away. And then this was later on. My ultra right-wing mom just told me that my phony pseudo-liberal younger brother in Seattle.
We got another brother? We got another Schultz brother? Mm-hmm. This is like when a show badly writes a character into the series because it's like, all right, well, there was a third brother, and you're like, okay, so for 3 seasons, nobody talked about a third brother, and now suddenly there's a third brother.
It's like when they replaced the Duke boys with their cousins.
Yeah. You're like watching Justified, and you're like, so there's a new Crowder out of nowhere? What is this?
So my ultra-right-wing mom just told me that my phony pseudo-liberal younger brother in Seattle, who has ignored repeated attempts by me to contact him by phone about the skinhead beating me, and this is after his brother died.
By the way, I love that whenever, this is the best and most telling thing about Earlp, is whenever he's explaining to you who somebody is, it's still 15 sentences of me, right? Like that makes me laugh. That fucking He's like, yeah, my younger brother, who's ignored repeated attempts at a skinhead beating me in my house. It's just me beats me in this house every time. I hate him.
About the skinhead beating me and has not reached out to me whatsoever because the drama of transphobia and feudalist era racism.
What are you, a fucking samurai now all of a sudden? What is this shit? Hey.
In our home. Yeah, he follows the Bushido code.
But like for real though. No, it's because my skinhead brother died, and now my younger brother is coming back because he's a Ronin and he no longer has a master. Like, what is happening?
In our home interferes with his perfectly non-caring life, which I have gotten beat again and again since he first began ignoring my outreaches to him. He's going to be here an entire week because he's obviously going to the funeral. Fuck this dude's pompous arrogance. When I told him in person I got beat in our home in Ohio, he told me shoutingly, "Get a job." I told him I have a job.
You do laundry.
So your lefty brother that listens. So because a lot of people, you're my right wing skinhead brother. Your lefty Seattle brother also hates you.
Yes. And I love too that he's like, ugh, he's gonna be spending a week here, and it's like, yes, he doesn't live there all the time. Mm-hmm. Earlp, did you know it's actually normal behavior to visit a town because somebody died in the family and stay at a family member's house? That's a very normal thing. Now, living there for your entire life and expecting them to do everything for you and expecting to be paid at more than minimum wage to do laundry, that's all abnormal, Earlp. But the whole, hey, I'm coming for Sherman's funeral. Should I get a hotel? And your family going, no, we got plenty of room in the house. You come stay here. Oh, okay. And he's acting like, oh, this piece of shit's going to come here for a week. And it's like, yeah, for a week, not forever.
And yeah, someone pointed out the word with Perd pointed out, by the way, nice Parks and Rec reference says, notice the pseudo-liberal, so like a regular liberal?
Yeah.
And one more. This is after his brother died. I now have video footage of inside my skinhead brother's bedroom, which I was once beaten severely for even stepping inside to take a laundry basket to do my below minimum wage work cleaning clothes. It's bad in there. Megalomania. Brother just died.
First of all, pot, meat, kettle. Wow, dude. Like, you're just like, that's the kind of thing, by the way, when somebody dies, it's nobody should have the instinct of, I want to go in that person's room. Like, that's one of those things where if you're a normal human being, you don't go in that room for a while, right? Like, you just kind of pass it and go like if my brother died or somebody I were close to, even if I didn't like them or whatever, died and I lived with them, like, you'd walk past their bedroom and shut the door and be like, I don't want to go in there for a while. Like, we'll deal with cleaning out that room and stuff at another time, but you immediately went in there to snoop around. And I'll bet you he was looking for money and like little. I'll fucking bet you.
Of course.
Probably stole his change jug, you know?
Probably his booze, too.
Probably.
The skinhead brother, you know what it is to go into your dead brother's room the day he died
and still talk shit about him.
Talk shit about him.
And make it about you. All these posts were about me. House party, me. They're going to be mean to me. I'm still not going to speak to my mother. Me. My other brother's coming. Me. Here's what he did to me. This is a guy. He is irredeemable.
Well, you want to see what he's doing with all this stuff going on?
Oh my God.
You want to see what he's been up to?
Sure.
I'm just recording another video on my iPad here.
Is it a second generation or a third generation
video to show the progress on my,
just curious.
What's it like? It's like a futon or whatever the type of furniture item like that I've transformed into like kind of a sculpture that has a spiral effect on it, and it does. I took the cushion off of it to so basically it's just all of the swirly.
Great story, Hansel.
And most of it's
Thanks,
covered
Olaf.
in aluminum now. So I'm just trying to get like a.
Imagine thinking this is art.
Like this is.
That's his art?
Now, and it's it's got kind of a.
I also can I point out something? Let's for those of you that don't understand this or grasp this, do you people in the chat even have a rough idea of how expensive aluminum foil is? It's like it's one of those things you never want to buy, and when you do buy, you buy a giant roll, and you're like, I don't want to have to buy that again for a year. Do you again, not stuff he's paying for. That means that he has been going down and taking their aluminum foil out of the kitchen and using it for his worthless projects. I would be furious. I would be furious if I came back to my place and somebody was like, "Oh, I've been making sculptures with your aluminum foil." I'd be like, "Do you know how much that costs? Do you know how much aluminum foil costs? Like, you couldn't use something else?" I hate him.
Well, but at least his brother was dead or dying. I think his brother was dying when he made this. And people were asking, I'm sorry if it wasn't clear. Sherman died of liver failure. They were actually, before they sent him to hospice, they were looking for a transplant, and they couldn't find one. Just so you guys, know.
Well, yeah, because he's still an alcoholic, and he's poor. Like, they're not going to give you a fucking liver.
Yeah, you don't get the best ones.
Kind of a glitter effect from the aluminum. And I'm thinking about leaving like this, this central area, the spiral, the center there.
Very cool.
But Mike, it's not cool. It's horrendous.
This, what's weird? Like, this would be probably the thing that made me beat him to death if I were the father. Like, of all the other shit that you put up with, the breaking point would be the aluminum foil. Yeah. And then that's the kind of thing where you're trying to explain it to the cops later in your statement, and it makes you sound crazy. Like, it makes you sound like the crazy one. Like, wait, so you beat your son to death because he made a sculpture with aluminum foil? And you're like, yeah, but it's not just the sculpt. Look, man, this dude's been a real fucking pain in my ass, okay?
You're right.
Like, and the cops will be going, wait, I have to arrest you. You can't just beat a man to death over aluminum foil. And you're like, no, you're twisting it now, making me sound crazy.
Jason Fritz goes, yeah, but what you don't get is a spiral represents the Fibonacci sequence.
Oh, nice.
It's pretty deep. It's like Tool music.
I'm not putting aluminum on that, or if I do put aluminum there, I might color it like...
So like trash. So your art is just garbage.
That's what it is.
Might paint it.
It looks like the yard in Nothing But Trouble. It's fucking fat babies are out there.
Hot dogs.
The fact that it's got that there's that, what do they call it? There's a special word for like that spiral effect. It's the mathematical spiral effect.
I was kidding with the Fibonacci sequence. I was kidding. I swear to God, I hadn't watched this video. And obviously, I'm the person in the chat that said it. They couldn't have seen it because nobody has this video. He's really trying to do the Fibonacci thing.
He's trying to bring your fucking Trapper Keeper drawings to life.
He's going to do the S?
Stupid.
He's going to do the S?
You see, it's like a really cool S. And it looks like almost like 3D. And I'm going to do it with aluminum foil. I'm taking this aluminum foil and I'm going to make a sculpture of the cars that you used to draw in kindergarten.
Well, his next one's going to be one of those Kilroy was here once. The nose.
Yes.
Anyway.
He's going to bring this to the funeral. Trying to pull it out of trying to get it out of the car.
That's why I'm laughing.
Hold on, I gotta put it together. There's several pieces.
He's just dragging it.
This is for you, Sherman. And then he pulls out a boombox and Dust in the Wind starts playing.
Maybe we said it sounds like he has sun chips in his pocket. Maybe the reason it sounded that way is his aluminum foil in his pocket.
He's got a giant. He's a walking Faraday cage. He's just going to the funeral with this tinfoil thing, and then he goes, "Now I'd like to dedicate this art performance to my skinhead brother who beat me in his room every day." And then he does a whole interpretive dance routine with the sculpture behind him, while Owl Cities, It's Always a Good Time is playing in the background.
That's going to be Fireflies.
We don't even have to try. It's always a good time. And he's just doing some weird, like what looks like, you know, in the Olympics when they do the thing with the ribbon, right? The ribbon, whatever that is. It's just him doing that in front of his stupid aluminum sculpture. And the whole family's embarrassed, and the mom and dad are going, actually, frankly, this is the best he's ever been. This is him on good behavior.
Oh, fuck. Fucking. That's instrumental.
Nah, that's my art from my brother. Rest in peace, Sherman. You know what'd be awesome is if this is all just one big ruse, and they're gonna do this whole funeral, and then he's gonna go and he's gonna start eulogizing his brother, and Sherman's gonna pop out of the coffin and just start putting a can of whoop ass on him. How great would it be if this was all just one long form prank? They've gotten so sick of Earl that they're like, let's do a whole fake death. We'll send Sherman to Cincinnati. We'll put him up at the Marriott for a couple days. Think about it. It's so suspiciously fast how he died. What if they just put him up in a Marriott in Cincinnati and they went, don't come home for a couple days? And now they're going to stage a funeral. Earl's going to show up with his fucking big foil statues. And Sherman's going to pop the lid open, run over, and just ground and pound the shit out of him. That's how I'm hoping this ends.
The upside, though, now John McAfee has another place you could do an interview.
I mean, my God, this place is a disaster. It's an unmitigated disaster.
I believe Da Vinci.
I decided, me and my black prostitute wife, we've been snorting Earl's skin flakes. They seem to have no psychoactive chemical properties. My God.
About this in nature. So that type of thing, and it's like really late at night right now, so I'm like not even thinking like vividly on.
Or about your brother?
Your brother's dying.
You piece of shit.
Your brother's dying. And by the way, look, I understand too that when like people handle their grief differently. Like I know personally, I'm the kind of guy like if I lose somebody close to me or like I know people that will dive into their work. And I understand that, but this isn't work. This is just you babbling with tinfoil in a fucking in an attic somewhere. But completely nonplussed that his brother is dying.
The terminology is on that, but anyway, it's kind of
you wouldn't understand it if I was trying to explain it to you.
The spiral that's kind of similar.
I told my parents had asked if anyone has a liver, I guess, or not.
I like when he's like, oh, the spiral, it means, like, mathematically, it's got a lot of significance. Yeah, I know. It was one of the first things ever drawn on a cave wall. Calm down.
Fucking moron.
It's literally one of the first things men ever did was went, he drew a swirl and everybody was impressed.
And it kind of just goes with everything.
So you've ruined an entire box of aluminum foil.
Here, like
excuse me. Several boxes of aluminum foil.
And now you've also ruined the attic.
Right. Okay? So I hope you're happy. Everything has been ruined. He has fucking Frank Underwood's typewriter apparently too.
The old typewriter that's a century old that I bought online years ago.
He buys garbage.
He buys garbage.
He just buys trash. He fills the attic with fucking eBay trash.
Like, you'd almost be better off having a kid that, like, goes out and does drugs and parties than this. This is just worse.
Just really, a far out style.
What? It's far out.
Hey, far out, man. Yeah. Hey, why don't you get a job, man?
First to see what it looks like, though. But anyway, I wanted to do a video of this.
Hey, I was just upstairs talking to Earl, man. I don't think he knows his brother's sick or anything, man. It's just like acting like nothing's going on, dude.
What if that's his Seattle brother? What if his Seattle brother sounds just like that?
His bass hippie?
Yeah.
Just talk about it.
Hey, I used to live in Dayton too, man. There's just too many man. Too many I feel like, they all know about Dave Chappelle, man, and they're all moving here now.
Getting closer. to finish with this part. This
Stop saying
prepping.
finish as if there's a beginning, a middle, and an end. Stop saying finish like this is a project. You know what I mean? Like this isn't like
It's a project.
This isn't 2 window washers on a fucking skyscraper in New York, and you go, "Hey, when are you guys going to be finished?" And you go, "Oh, probably in about 8 hours. It's going to take us that long to get this actual project done." He's like, "I don't know when it's going to be." I love when somebody's like literally just collecting garbage in an attic, and they're like, "Yeah, I don't know when it's going to be finished." What's finished?
So this is a newer one. This is this is him finishing. There's no audio. Oh my God. What's happening?
I think he sped it up like
Warhol inspired. See this? This is Warhol inspired.
Yeah, well, I wish you were even more inspired by Andy Warhol.
Now, there's your Dayton update for the people that were looking
I
for
fucking hate him so much.
You're intimidated by him.
Out of all of the people we cover, I think he's got to be the worst.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
He's the worst. He's worse than those other weirdo meth heads.
Oh, the psychic vampire.
Yeah.
Dashton, the psychic vampire.
Dashton the psychic vampire at least has a meth problem. Like at least you could try to at least envision what they'd be like not on meth, as opposed to Earlp, who it's just you're just like this.
This is how you are.
It's just how you're just like this.